Do you have high agency? Or do you have low agency? Agency seems to be potentially that new word, that new trending thing. And yet it seems to have one of the greatest impacts or determinants of, well, how successful you are going to be in life. So one of the simple questions that you can ask yourself, and to be fair, it comes with a heavy bias because, well, you're asking yourself, is do you let life come to you, or do you go out and dictate your life? Does life just happen, or are you taking charge and you're doing the work, recognizing opportunities, pushing forward, maximizing the blessings that that have been bestowed upon you? You're out there doing the work, or you're just existing, hoping, praying, wishing for the best. These are the difference of high agency and low agency. And I love this question. And the question was to determine who is the highest agency person in your life. That if you were in a third world prison, who would you call to get you out? Who could you call upon and know that they would turn over every rock, they would shake every tree, they would figure it the fuck out to get you out of there? That person is your most high agency friend. And you want to be that person. You want to be the high agency person. You want to be the person who, well, takes charge of your life, who gets after it, and that no matter what happens, you figure it the fuck out. That life throws you curveballs and you just take it in your stride. Good, the bad, the ugly, it doesn't matter. You're gonna figure this out. That is what high agency is. The ability to take control of your life and handle it well. But it is that perfect metaphor for life. Because we talk about it a lot. That most people die at 25 and just wait to be buried at 75. That they're just floating through life, going through the motions. They're not living. They're barely existing. They just are. And that's not who you want to be. You want to be someone out there chasing life, out there doing shit, out there chasing your greatness, being the best version of yourself that you can be. Challenging yourself, leveling up, reaching new levels and going, fuck, those goals weren't big enough. What do I set now? Keep reaching towards being the best version of yourself, reaching towards elevating yourself. Not going, this is who I am and that's how it is, end of story. No. You can change at any point, at any moment, at any stage of your life. You can become a better version of yourself, a new version of yourself. All it takes is making that decision. All it takes is deciding and becoming the greatest version of yourself. And that's what you need to do, and that's who you need to be. And you need to undertake this. You need to take on life. You need to have high agency in your life and see who you can become through that. And look, I've only recently discovered this term, high agency, and I think it's a fantastic one. I actually really like it and the concepts that come with it. But that's essentially what chasing greatness is all about. That we just don't accept life. We don't just, it is what it is. No. We're out here tackling it. We're out here taking it head on. We're out here dictating to life who we are and what we're doing, and we're facing the challenges. We're facing them head on. We are not only facing them, but actively seeking them. We're choosing to get uncomfortable on the daily. We're getting comfortable being uncomfortable. You know, all the fucking cliches under the sun. But they're cliches for a reason. Because, well, the most successful people in life do things differently. They show up differently. They live their lives differently. And you want to be in that category. You want to push yourself to the limit. You want to see what you're capable of. It's like that Socrates quote, and I'm going to butcher it because it's been a minute since I've read it, but it's a shame for a man to die without ever seeing the potential of his body. This idea that, that's just who I am. That's just my life. That's my lot in life. There's nothing I can do about it. I've got bad genetics, whatever the reason might be. Call some bullshit on yourself. Have a harsh heart-to-heart. Take ownership of your life. Take control of it. Don't accept what just comes to you. Make decisions about going after it and doing the work. That's what we're here for. There is, and I'm sure people will butt up against this, but I do firmly believe it, there is no happiness in sedation. There is no happiness in just, well, that's life, just accepting it and just going with it. No, the happiness, the fulfillment, the joy of life comes from challenges, new adventures, pushing yourself, overcoming obstacles, from doing things that you didn't think were possible. Even down to things that, things that are free. Being centered, being present, being one with your kids, your family, your wife, your children, your friends, being in the moment. True happiness and satisfaction comes from those things. You cannot lead a fulfilled life constantly sedating yourself. You can't lead a life that will be remembered, even just by you, by choosing instant gratification, choosing easy, choosing to just, it is what it is, accept what it is. Like, no, you go out there and you take it head on, you face it down. That you seek the challenges, you seek the opportunities, and you make the most of them when they arise. You train so hard that the game is easy. Well, the game we're playing is the game of life. You want to make the game of life fucking easy. And you know how you do that? Well, by starters, you get into great fucking shape because everything in your life gets easier when you're in great fucking shape. You look after your health and fitness because your health is your wealth. You start doing the things that matter. You start challenging yourself daily. You push yourself into uncomfortable situations and see how much you can take, and then push a little bit further and push a little bit further and realize that you are stronger, more capable than you ever thought possible. That you're able to handle more than you thought possible. So that when life tests you, you're already battle tested. You already know what you can handle. You already know how you can show out. This is how life gets better. It doesn't get better by sitting on the couch. It doesn't get better waiting for life to get better. It gets better by doing the work so that life gets better. And you might not know how. You might not be aware of how it's going to get better right here in this moment, but you know that it will. I can guarantee you, if you undertake something like chasing greatness, that your life will improve in ways that you can't even fathom yet, that you haven't even contemplated yet. It's the same as with the goals and everything. We've spoken about this before, that the goals that you'll achieve at the end of chasing greatness, the goals that you couldn't even contemplate right now, because you're not that man yet. That the whole point of this, and I think it comes with being a man of high agency, a man who's taking on life, that's channeling it, that's doing the work, that's doing what is required, that you grow through the journey. You know that the man who's beginning this journey will not be the same man who ends this journey. And even within that statement, you know that that's not true. There is no end to this journey. There is just that first summit, that first peak, that first mountain that you conquer, and on to the next, and on to the next. Because the journey of life only ends with death. and you ain't going to get out of it alive, so you might as well live this life to its fullest. You might as well go out there and chase it every fucking day to see what you can create, to see what kind of life you can create for yourself. As I said, you as this version of you, this man right here, right now, with your understandings, your beliefs, your capacity, cannot fathom the goals that you will set and achieve once you've completed some of chasing greatness. And to me, that's more exciting than anything else. That's more exciting than any of the other things. That concept of, I'm going to level up so much that I can't contemplate the goals that I'm going to set and achieve. Doesn't that fill you with excitement? Doesn't that light you up? Because isn't the whole point of life is to have experiences, to be challenged, to be pushed, to see what's possible, to have that high agency in your life, that nothing is insurmountable. It is just a puzzle, a challenge, something to be worked out, something to be overcome. Because I don't know if it comes back to my sporting background or, that I've been lifting weights since I was 14. But I know, for me, and I see it in others, and I see it all the time, that the greatest wins come from the ones that I didn't expect that I would be able to pull off. The greatest joy comes from, not only competing and completing challenges that others didn't think were possible, but that a part of me didn't think was possible. And yet I dove in head fucking first. And I did it. And I overcame. And I persevered. And I did what was required. And I'm proud of the fucking man I had to become along the way. To become that man. I look back on completing 365 days of chasing greatness. And it is this weird combination of things for me. Because part of me barely registered it. Like, one of the only reasons that I actually documented it and shared it was because one of my friends blew up at me about it. They were like, are you fucking kidding? This is a huge milestone and must be celebrated. I was like, this is just, life. This is just what I do now. This is just who I am now. They're like, no. You must celebrate and share with this. And yet, on the flip side, the man I was when I started this journey, the man I look back at in that picture, I can see the sadness in his fucking eyes. I can see the disgust and the shame. I can see how far he had fallen and how that broke him. I can see all that in that man. And that man, when he undertook this, wasn't sure he was going to pull it off. To be honest, he had fucking massive doubts. He did not think that he was going to make this happen. He was scared. He was fearful. It was part of why it was shared on social media. Because he didn't think he had the follow through. He didn't think that he could do the work. He didn't think that he had it in him to, continue when shit got really hard. Yeah, the motivation was high at the start because, look at him. He was disgusted with himself. He was completely disgusted with himself. So the motivation was high, but he wasn't sure he was going to complete the first 126 days, let alone 365 days. That man couldn't fathom what I just passed. That I would be this man, that I would be this guy that passed 365 days and barely registered it as a thing. That seemed unfathomable to him. which was the point. And I talk about him in a third person for a reason, because I am not that man. That man died. That man perished on the journey. He was not strong enough. He was not worthy. He was not the one to break through and to set these standards. He was not the one to set the new goals. He was not the one to be able to complete it. So he died on that journey. And the next iteration of me was born with a slightly higher agency, with slightly higher ability to take on the world, to take on those opportunities. But he was only mildly better, and he died in phase 2. And then this iteration was born. And this iteration's nearly dead too. Because as I come to the completion of phase 3, and I look at what comes next, well, that's phase 4. And that comes with new goals and new levels and new requirements. So this version of me will perish as well. And so the cycle continues. A bit like a Time Lord, I'd like to think. that version fulfilled its duty. It fulfilled its tasks. It fulfilled its job. And we are grateful to that version. But it has gone, and now we're into the next iteration. And he's different. Still the same, but different. And he'll take on new challenges and new roles and new goals and accomplish new things that the previous iterations couldn't have fathomed, couldn't have dreamed of doing. And he also knows that he'll perish at some point. And that it doesn't matter how good he is, that he will also perish to lay the foundation for the next iteration. And this cycle will go on, I believe, for the rest of my life. Because, well, I want to take on life. I want to be challenged. I want to be pushed. I want to see what is possible. And that doesn't mean I won't stumble and fall. It doesn't mean I won't fail. I won't, slip up and make mistakes or bite off more than I can chew. Or maybe that iteration isn't quite ready for what I think it is. But the man I'm becoming along that journey will level up. And maybe the next iteration will be. As each step gets taken, I take on more and more agency. I push towards being that man that takes life by the horns, that can handle anything, that can take on anything, that can do anything. And yeah, I like to think that I have high agency in many areas of my life, but I'm also not naive enough to believe that I'm the most high agency person I could be. There are still many, many areas where I am lacking, and there is growth to be done. There are things to be done. There are lessons to be learnt. There's evolution to be made, and versions of me to perish and to be reborn as better versions. And thus is the cycle of life. Thus is the cycle that will continue, hopefully, until the day I die. I don't ever want to get stuck on one iteration. I want to keep leveling up and keep challenging and keep pushing and keep seeing what I am capable of. And the areas that I challenge and push and grow and develop in will change. And will be different from time to time, but that's the excitement of life, is just to see who the next version of me could be, to see what is possible, to see how I can grow, how I can develop, how I can overcome, how I can face adversity and look it head on, look it in the face and not blink. To have the agency to take on life, to make it my life, my best life, and not bow to it. That's what I think this is about. So if you are ready to take that first step towards high agency, if you are ready to take that first step to being the best version of yourself, shoot me a message. Let's get you into Chasing Greatness Daily. Let's begin that journey now. Now, as always, if you're not quite there yet, click the link in my bio, grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness. And lastly, if this spoke to you, if you enjoyed it, if you know someone who needs to hear this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. But most importantly, hit that subscribe button because it helps me, it helps you, it helps the universe know that you're a man who's taking this seriously, who wants to level up, who wants to find their greatness, and is taking that first step. So hit that subscribe button because, like everything in Chasing Greatness Daily, I'll be here every single day. I've been here for well over a year now, and I'm going to continue to be here every single day, rain, hail, or shine, no matter what. So I'll see you again tomorrow. Until then.